When we think of Lionel Messi, it's way too easy to fall into that old cliche of the naturally gifted athlete, right? We picture the effortless dribbling, those impossible goals, and we just assume it's pure, unexplainable magic. Well, in today's Explainer, we're going to completely shatter that illusion. We are diving deep into the unexpected neurological, emotional, and financial layers that actually constructed the greatest footballer of all time. We're breaking down the genius layer by layer. To really understand the legend, we actually have to start with a totally baffling contrast. 47. Now, that's not a record for goals or assists. 47 seconds is the exact amount of time an 18-year-old Lionel Messi lasted on the pitch during his disastrous international debut for Argentina. Just think about that for a second. The man who would eventually lift the World Cup and Copa America trophies started his international journey with less than a minute of game time. So picture this. It's August 2005. Argentina is playing a friendly against Hungary in Budapest. The hype around this young Barcelona prodigy was absolutely sky high. Fans were practically begging to see Argentina's next big hope. But his debut instantly turned into a visceral nightmare. Literally, moments after coming on as a sub, Messi tries to dribble past a Hungarian defender who aggressively tugs his shirt. Acting on pure instinct, Messi throws his arm up to shake him off. The ref, he interprets it as an intentional elbow. Straight red card. A devastated 18-year-old Messi walked off the field in tears. Honestly, it was the kind of moment that could have permanently destroyed the confidence of a lesser player. While that red card was just a temporary roadblock, there was a much more insidious threat lurking behind the scenes at Barcelona's La Masia Academy. See, for years, fans and pundits watched in total confusion as Messi would literally throw up on the pitch during intense matches. Everyone just assumed it was the crushing weight of expectations or extreme psychological stress. But the truth? As Messi himself openly admitted, I ate badly for many years. Chocolates, fizzy drinks, and everything. His body was literally rejecting the massive amounts of sugar and junk food he was downing. The breaking point here is the stuff of legend. The story goes that during a team meeting, Pep Guardiola explicitly banned players from drinking sodas before a game. Messi, being completely defiant, stood up, grabbed a Coke, and drank it right in front of everyone. Guardiola's response? He immediately banned all vending machines from the Barcelona training ground and forced Messi to work with a nutritionist. This intervention swapped out his sugar crashes for optimized fuel, fundamentally altering the trajectory of his physical capabilities. Okay, so once his body was finally dialed in, his brain was completely freed up to operate at a superhuman level, and the data actually quantifies this magic. During the 2022 World Cup against Poland, Messi scanned the pitch a mind-boggling 680 times. That gives him a rate of 0.38 scans per second. Now compare that to the elite average for a Premier League forward, which is sitting around 0.28. He is constantly, rapidly moving his head and eyes, hoovering up peripheral data while keeping the ball perfectly under control. He is literally seeing a totally different game than everyone else on the pitch. So why does this matter? Well, in neuroscience, there are these things called reward prediction errors, or RPEs. Essentially, they're surprise signals that pop off in the brain when what you expect to happen doesn't match what actually happens. By constantly microscanning, Messi's brain gathers massive amounts of real-time info to perfectly predict the movements of all the other 21 players. This minimizes those surprises, the RPEs. And because his brain isn't getting surprised, dopamine floods his system, fueling lightning-fast, hyper-accurate decision-making. But there's another neurological secret here, and it's all about memory. Because Messi obsessively played so much football as a kid, long before his prefrontal cortex was fully developed, his core footballing skills actually bypassed the slow, conscious, explicit memory. Instead, they embedded directly into his implicit or procedural memory. He doesn't have to think about how to trap a ball or shift his weight. His body just intrinsically knows. And these deep-rooted skills unlock his ultimate weapon. Because the physical act of playing takes zero conscious effort, his brain's insula triggers a flow state. This state drastically drops his anxiety levels and completely frees up his prefrontal cortex, the logical, calculating part of the brain, to act like a supercomputer. He can weigh probabilities, map out trajectories, and find spatial asymmetries under the most extreme pressure imaginable. He's not just playing, he is processing real-time data. But here is the catch. To keep a hyperactive, constantly calculating superbrain grounded, you absolutely need a powerful emotional anchor. Without it, the pressure would just be crushing. Enter Antonella Roccuzzo. They met in Rosario, Argentina, when they were just 7 years old.
When Messi left for Spain at 13, they couldn't afford expensive international calls, so they kept their bond alive by writing actual paper letters. Then, at 17, Antonella tragically lost a close friend. Messi immediately flew halfway across the world just to comfort her. That dark moment reignited their deep childhood connection, which eventually led to their massive wedding in 2017. Antonella became his absolute rock. She left her postgraduate dentistry studies behind to join him in Barcelona. While raising their 3 sons and building her own incredibly successful career as a model and brand ambassador, she became his safe haven. As Messi himself has said, she's the one person who gives him a simple, grounded perspective on life. She knows exactly how to handle the overwhelming complexities of his global fame. She is quite literally his neurological reset button.
Finally, the last chapter, the business visionary. So this neurologically optimized, emotionally grounded genius hasn't just dominated the pitch. He recently set his sights on the business world. And in doing so, he turned down a guaranteed billion-dollar offer from Saudi Arabia to completely revolutionize sports contracts with Inter Miami. The terms here are unprecedented. Sure, he gets a base salary of $50 to $60 million a year, but it is so much more than that. He's getting a direct percentage of Apple TV's MLS broadcasting revenue, he gets a cut of Adidas merchandise revenue across the entire league, and crucially, he's secured an option to become a part owner of an MLS franchise when he retires. Messi is literally trading human capital for equity. Following in the visionary footsteps of athletes like Billie Jean King and Michael Jordan, rather than just selling his athletic talent for a massive fixed check, he monetized his human capital. He took an equity stake in an uncertain future revenue stream. Essentially, he bet on himself to grow the entire soccer market in America, making sure he profits as an owner, not just an employee. When you put all these pieces together, the complete machine emerges, flawed, grounded, and brilliant. From a humiliating 47-second red card and a junk food addiction that threatened his early career, to achieving pure neurological mastery of time and space, from a childhood romance to fundamentally changing the financial landscape of global sports, this explainer shows us the true, multi-dimensional iceberg of Lionel Messi. It is so much deeper than just natural talent. As you reflect on his incredible journey from Rosario to Miami, I really want to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let us know, do you think we will ever see another athlete dominate both the cognitive science of their sport and the financial equity of their industry quite like Lionel Messi has? Thanks for joining us for this explainer, and keep exploring.